Good afternoon, everyone. We are the cloud team and we are here to have an open discussion about cloud computing. I am Anwanine Makwaran and I am certified in AWS Cloud Practitioner. I will let my team members introduce themselves.
Greetings, my name is Richard Nzwane and I am certified in Google Cloud Security.
Greetings, my name is Katlego Ramokolo and I'm certified in Microsoft Azure Fundamental, also a Microsoft Messaging Administrator Associate.
Greetings, I'm Detelelo Butelezi. I am certified in Microsoft Azure Fundamental and also in Google Workspace.
So I'm sure you are all wondering what cloud is. You've been hearing the word cloud. What exactly is cloud computing?
Cloud computing is delivering of cloud computing services. We can include things like servers, database, networking, software. Those services, they have been provided through cloud, through internet, to offer innovation and also very, very cost-effective methodology.
And also, cloud provides a platform for individuals and organizations to access and leverage the powerful computing resources and services over the internet without having to worry about the physical infrastructure.
Yeah, that's true.
To add on what Katlego was saying on what is cloud computing, it's more like a storage, but a more advanced storage, because now we can modify some of the things there. So, meaning you can add, you can remove
Yes.
anything that you want, that you have stored in cloud.
Yes, and you are very true, Ndetelelo, because of those things they can be modified in real time.
Yeah, and I like what Anwani said about infrastructure. When you are moving to cloud or when you are using cloud, you don't have to purchase everything.
Yes, true.
Yeah, because when you are on premises, firstly you have to purchase what? The servers, and also provide security, starting from a physical security and also the solutions that you can use to protect your servers. You see. So, but when you move to cloud, you don't worry about all those things. They are taken care of by the cloud provider.
And the platform also provides also worked with pay-as-you-go pricing model, which allows you to pay for only what you have used.
Yeah. And when you're speaking in terms of scalability, when you speak about you pay what you pay for what you use. Let's take an example. Richard mentioned about on premises. I have my data on premises. If now I need to scale, increase the data or on my on premises, but the storage is less, I can go into cloud and pay for a storage that I want to use for my application or software that I want to deploy on cloud.
Yeah. So if we take it back, maybe for someone who are trying to say to him, can you move to cloud? Maybe he or she will ask, why should I move to cloud? You know.
Yeah, there are a lot of benefits, as we mentioned,
Yes.
about scalability, about security, physical security. When Richard says that if the infrastructure can be damaged on premises.
Yes, true.
But now cloud says that we have a high availability,
Yes.
whereby we have 3 regions that we can provide for you. However, if there's a disaster at another region,
Then
your
you can
data
have
is
this
secure.
just-
Yeah. So it's quite
Yeah.
nice.
And
Yeah,
about
so-
cloud.
yeah,
Moving to cloud, it's make life easier.
Yeah.
Because now we move with the trend, it's all agility.
Mhm.
Because back then, if you check, whenever you want to buy a server, you need to wait almost for 3 months for a server to come to maybe to another country. But in cloud, maybe it takes you a week or 2 weeks to move whatever data you want to store, whatever information or whatever database, whatever you want to store in cloud. It takes you a week or 2 weeks. So I think nowadays cloud is the only leading computing that we have.
Yes,
that's true.
yes.
Compared to using on-premises infrastructures for like servers and everything.
yeah, and Katle also mentioned the high availability. that part a client must not worry about it, because it's what is called data replication. So your
Yes.
data is not only stored in one data center. They just
It's
give you that
replicated.
information where
Yeah.
your data is going to be stored in multiple data centers. In case there is a failure in this data center, your data will always be available. You
Yes.
see, so that's replication, but a client doesn't do that. It's taken care of by the cloud provider. So imagine if you purchased servers
Mhm.
and you want to do that by your own. You have to purchase more servers and put them in separate areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, one in this area, the other one maybe in other area,
Yeah.
and then that's a way of connecting.
So you need more resources also.
You need more
Yes.
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lose money.
Yeah.
In terms you are losing money because you will have to hire
Yes.
high technicians to
Sure, you
to do
outsource.
that for
Mm.
you.
Mm.
So you are,
And
you are
also, if I want to, maybe I have this data, I want to store it here at Maklala servers, and also some of the data I want to put it on cloud. Does it have a model maybe I can use to store them in both sides, like on premises and on cloud also? Does it have any model that I can use?
yes, there is.
Mm.
There are different types of cloud that are being provided by service providers
Okay.
like Microsoft, AWS, IBM, Google.
Sure.
Yeah, so we have a private cloud, we have public cloud, we have hybrid.
Oh,
The one you are talking about, whereby a client or a user wants to move to cloud, but also wants to keep his own on-premises data or infrastructure, it's called hybrid.
okay.
Yeah.
So the one that I can use like personally on my premises,
Mhm.
what is it? The one that I can use like on premises only.
The one you can use on your personal premises is
Sure.
private cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and another interesting thing about hybrid cloud is, some cloud providers, when they store your data, they are stored in different countries. And you might find that you, a client, you don't want your data to be stored in other countries. So you can keep some of the data that you only want it to be stored in your country. You can
Okay.
keep it in your premises, and then some of the data you can just put it on cloud provider.
Yeah, as Richard, you speak about the data that is being stored in other countries, or we talk about those regions that you're talking about, or the data centers. We speak up also, we will have to include the compliances of that data. Is it compliance to how it is stored, and it is according to the country that you need to store that certain data. Let's take an example. An American guy cannot store a certain data into hacking data into South
Into South
African
Africa.
premises.
Sure.
You understand? So the data that you store, it needs to comply to the service provider says, or the contract, what the contract says. So you have different tools that deals with that into cloud, whereby if you wanna stress less about compliance of the data, you should go into cloud.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah,
Sure.
and what I also like about cloud is it also works with industries regulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your data that you are storing, it is also following the government regulations and
Yes.
also your industry's regulations. They can't just use your data. They can't just store your data in other countries. You see, so they follow the regulations and also the regulations of the country that is hosting your data, your servers, your data center that are storing your data.
Yeah.
Oh, and also in cloud, you can create VMs, multiple VMs, not just one VM. Meaning you can do, in this VM, you can do this job, and another VM, you can do this work, another VM, you can do this work on cloud. Because now it's all about storage. How much
Yeah.
capacity does it have? Because if in your personal machine, maybe you can create only one VM. Maybe your capacity of your machine can only able to manage one VM, but in cloud you can have multiple VM based on the capacity.
Yeah. It goes back into saying that, however, if you can use your machine as visualization, it can happen that your PC becomes slow or your machine
Yes,
becomes slow.
yes,
But
yes.
now in cloud, those things, they are run in parallel and they are quick. They are
Mm.
fast. So
So
cloud, I think it's
that's
the
the only
best
that's,
way
that's also
to
an
go.
advantage.
Yeah, to go in terms of visualization.
Okay.
So it's a good part because we have different types of services.
Mm.
Yes.
Let's take an example. Where do I have to use if I have an application? Which services can I use? Like if I have an application, I would ask myself which services is the best for me.
Mm. Yeah, and one other thing about the VMs, in short for virtual machines, if you don't choose to use VMs, you purchase a lot of computers. That's expenses. And what if your computers get damaged? And also, the other benefit of using virtual machines is you can work remotely and you can access those virtual machines using any laptop or any device as long as you have the
Mm.
login credentials.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, is there any services that would allow me to deploy my applications and not manage them at all? If I don't want to manage it at all, is there any services that would allow me to do that?
Yes, I think there is. If it's a platform as a service, yes, you can in platform as a service.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the service provider takes care of the platform that is hosting your applications or your
Yes,
data.
yes, yes.
You don't take care of it. No.
When you wanna store storage database, you go to platform as a service. When you are going into those space of want to create an application, want to create a database, you go for platform as a service. That's the best way
But
because of
for your VMs storage, you go for infrastructure.
you go for
as a
infrastructure.
service.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
for software as a service, we have Outlook.
Oh,
It's a
yes.
software because of
Um,
it's managed by Microsoft.
Yes, true.
Yes.
true.
Gmail,
Mm.
it's Google's
Yeah, Office
product.
365.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also in cloud, you're not responsible for the security of your data. Like cloud is a shared responsibility. There are
Mm.
some parts that a client is responsible for in terms of security, and there are some parts that a cloud provider is responsible for, and there are parts that both the client and the cloud provider is responsible for. For instance, a client is responsible for the applications that they are using,
Yes. yes.
configuring the application and make sure that they are safe and secure.
Mm.
And in other end, a cloud provider is responsible for the data that you are hosting. So they are responsible for what you mentioned, high availability. That's why they have it, high availability. And they make sure that they protect their data centers. And the part that both the client and a service provider is responsible for is the infrastructure of a client. Like the cloud provider provides you with solutions that a client can use to protect their infrastructure. I'm talking about the networks and the laptops or desktops that they are using. Yeah.
And also, Richard just spoke about security. So the security compared to on premises and on cloud, it's not the same. On premises, I can come to Maklala with my USB, or even someone can say, "There's 1 million. Go to Maklala and put this USB and take all their data."
Yeah.
But if it's cloud, there's authentication and authorization. Who are you? Why are you here? So you can't just go there on cloud and access Richard's database or Katlego's data on cloud. It's more secure compared to on premises. So that's another advantage of moving to cloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you are hosting your VMs on cloud, in security, there is what is called identity aware proxy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
They create policies that restrict and allow users to access the VMs, the virtual machines that you hosted on cloud.
In Azure, we would say role-based access control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good tool to use in terms of who access the data, who has the authority to access a certain platform. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
good.
And in Google Cloud, again, there's what's called logging and monitoring. It
Yeah.
checks who logged in.
Yeah.
It checks the user's activity. Yeah.
Mhm.
to keep track of what you did
So
when
it
you
has
logged in.
logs, like a list of logs.
Yes.
Of who
Yes.
logged in.
Exactly.
Okay. So in Google.
Yeah, in Google Cloud. Yeah.
Moving into cloud is a good thing because of now we are digitizing. The world is being digitized.
Yeah.
So because of what COVID did, it forced a lot of organization to move into digitization.
Yeah.
So now moving into cloud, it's more of saying that what can we use to access things through
Yes.
through network, through internet.
Mm.
So cloud it says that we can offer you those services
Mm.
Yes.
that you can access them freely. So
Yeah.
but pay as you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it. We have discussed cloud and it's time to move to cloud. Thank you.
Bye.